Hello friends, welcome to the channel Software Study Lounge. So today we are going to learn SQL joins. So what is basically the SQL joins? Which types of join is present in the SQL? So SQL joins contains the inner join, left join or left outer join, right join also called as a right outer join, full join or full outer join, cross join, etc. So what is SQL joins? So SQL joins are the fundamental concept that allows you to combine the rows from two or more tables based on the related columns between them. There are several type of joins in SQL, each serving a different purpose. For example, inner join, left join, right join, full join, and cross join. So before moving to the each type of join, first we see we have the currently two tables called employees and departments. So in an employees table we have the columns called ID, email ID, first name, last name, age, hire date, gender, salary, and department ID. And in the department table, ID and name. So right now ignore the manager ID column. So basically ID columns of both employees and departments table denotes the primary key, and the department ID columns of employees table is the foreign key pointing to the primary key of the departments table. So in the employees table I highlighted the primary key by the orange color and the foreign key by the blue color. From the department ID is the foreign key in the employees table. So it basically pointing to the primary key of the of the primary key of the departments table. So it denotes the ID column. So next is inner join. So SQL inner join is one of the most commonly used type of joins in a SQL. It returns rows from two or more tables where there is a matching condition between the columns specified in the on clause. If there is no match, the row is not returned. How it works? When you when you use an inner join, SQL compares each rows in the first table with each row in the second table to find the pairs of rows that satisfy the join condition. If the join condition is met, the row is included in the result set, otherwise it is excluded. So inner join query. So first take a look of top right diagram. So we have the two tables called table 1 and table 2, and there is a common area between the table 1 and table 2 is highlighted by different color. So basically inner join return fetch all the records which is available in both the tables. So take a look of syntax. Select table 1 dot star table 2 dot star from table 1 inner join on table 2 on table 1 dot column equal to table 2 dot column. So basically the table 1 dot column and table 2 dot columns is the matching columns available in both the tables. So in our case the department ID column from the employees table is common in a ID column of the departments table. So take an example of inner join SQL query. So select e.id d.id from the employees as a e, inner join departments as a d on e dot department id equal to d dot id. So inside the employees table department id is common in a is same as a id column of the departments table. So basically e and d is the alias of the employees and departments table. Okay, then show the tables. So we have the two tables employees and departments. Okay, so first we check how many records is present in the employees and the departments table. So we have the employees table and it contains the ID, email ID, first name, last name, age, hire date, gender, salary, and department ID columns. Okay. So another table is departments table, which contains the ID and name. So right now, forget about the manager ID. Okay. So in the employees table, we have the department ID is the foreign key, which point us to the primary key of the department's ID. Okay, so we have total six departments, and if you notice one thing in the employees table, so the of the 13 record of the ID 13 and the record of the ID 15 don't have the department associated with them. So now we check query. So in the new tab, we open the new tab and check the inner join query. So our inner join syntax is, so check our syntax. So select, so we are selecting limited column here. So e dot id email id first name and d dot name from the employees as inner join departments as a d on e dot department id equal to d dot id. So we have the common column in both the tables called the department id. So name of the department id in the employees table is department underscore id and the id column of the departments table. So if we check existing in a previous this window, so we have total 18 rows in the employees table, but our inner join query only returns the 16 row. So the reason behind this, because we don't have the we have the two records, they don't have department associated with them. So because of that, it returns the 16 rows. Okay, and now we will apply the condition where condition with the inner join table. So now we are only fetching the records w- with the department name called human resource or the finance department. So in this case, it returns only those records, those employees which are associated with the human resource or the finance department. So this is our join query basically. This is our basically the inner join query, how it works. So basically it fetch all the records that matching in both the tables. So next is left join. The SQL left join, also known as a left outer join in SQL, used to retrieve all records from the left table, the table mentioned before the join keyword, and the match records from the right table, the table mentioned after the join keyword. If there is no match in the result is null for the columns from the right table. How it works? When you perform a left join, SQL start with the left table and attempt to find matching rows in the right table. If match is found, the rows from the both the tables are combined in the result set. If no match is found, the result will include the row from the left table with null values of the columns from the right table. So left join query. So take an example of diagram. So we have two tables, table 1 and table 2. So in a diagram, the table 1 part is completely highlighted and also the common part between that two tables also highlighted. That indicates all the rows from the left table and the matching rows from the right table. So take a look of syntax. Select table 1 dot star table 2 dot star from table 1, left join table 2 on table 1 dot column equal to table 2 dot column. So don't forget to add the semicolon in each query. So this is the best practice basically. So take an example. Select e.id, d.id from employees as a e, left join departments as a d on e.department id equal to d.id. Now the another join is left join. So we are checking the left join query. Okay, so we have two tables, employees and departments. And in the employees table, we have the department ID as a foreign key, which points toward the primary key of the department's ID column called as a ID. And we have the two records of ID 13 and 15, which don't have the departments. Okay, so let's see the left join query. So the syntax is select the limited column called ID, first name, gender, name, department name from employees as a E, left join departments as a D on E dot department ID equal to D dot ID. So this query returns the 18 row. Why this query return 18 rows? Because in a left join table, why it returns the 18 row? Because the left join in a left join it returns all the records from the left table and matching records from the right table, and if there is no match between in the right table at that time it returns the null, like in a 13 and the 15 it returns the null for the department name column. So this is the left join example. So next is a right join. So SQL right join, also known as a right outer join, in SQL used to retrieve all records from the right table, the table mentioned after the join keyword, and the match records from the left table, the table mentioned from before the join keyword. If there is a no match, the result is null for columns from the left table. How it works: when you perform a right join, SQL start with the right table and attempt to find matching rows in the left table. If match is found, the rows from the both tables are combined in the result set. If no match is found, the result will include the row from the right table with null values for the columns from the left table. So if the match is not found at the time, it contains the null value for the left table's column. So a right join query. So take a look. So we have two tables, table 1 and table 2, and our table 2 area is completely highlighted, and also the common area is also highlighted. So it denotes all the rows from the right table and matching rows from the left table. So basically this query return all the rows from the right table including matching rows from the left table. Take a look of right join syntax. Select table underscore 1 dot star table underscore 2 dot star from table 1, right join table 2 on table 1 dot column equal to table 2 dot column. Right join example. Select E dot star D dot star from employees as a E, right join departments as a D on E dot department ID equal to D dot ID. So if you look like inner join, left join and right join query, there is only the difference between is the keyword which we use between two tables. Like for the inner join we use inner join table, inner join. For left join we use left. For right join we use the right keyword. So all except these three things, all the query are same. So our next join is a right join. So basically in a right join it returns all the rows from the right table and matching rows from the left table. So check example. So select ID, first name and department name from the employees table as E. A right join departments table as a D on D dot department ID equal to D dot ID. So the table name before the join is known as the left table, and table names which is mentioned after the right join it's called as a right table. So in this case employee is a left table and department is a right table. So here it returns the only 16 records, but actually have the 18 records in the employees table, but we don't have the department associated with the two records. So because of that it returns only the 16 rows. So basically it returns all the records from the right table and matching records from the left table. So this is our right join query example. So next is full join. So SQL full join, also known as full outer join, in SQL used to retrieve all the records there is a match in either left table or the right table. If there is no match, the result will include null values for the columns from the tables that does not have corresponding row. How it works: when you perform a full join, SQL returns all records from both the left and the right tables. For rows where there is a match between the tables, the corresponding dice combine. For rows where there is a no match, the result include the row with null in place of columns from the tables that does not have the match. So for example, if there is a match between both the table, then these rows are returned. If there is a match of left table but not in a right table, at that time it returns the null for the right table. If there is no match between inside the left table, at that time the value of that left table is null. So take an example of join query, full join query. So in the table we have the two table, table 1 and table 2, and both are included, and also the common part is also included in the results. So first it checks all the common part, after that it returns all the left table rows, and after that it returns all the right table rows. So full join syntax: select table 1 dot star table 2 dot star from table 1, full join table 2 on table 1 dot column equal to table 2 dot column. Full join example: select E dot ID D dot ID from employees as a E, full join departments as a D on E dot department ID equal to D dot ID. So this is the example. So this query is also same, only the one word is changed, which is full instead of left, right, or inner join. So next one is cross join. A cross join in SQL is also known as a Cartesian join. It is a join operation that returns Cartesian product of two tables involved in the join. This means it combines each row from the first table with every row from the second table. The result set combines all possible combination of rows from both the tables. So how it works? When you perform a cross join, SQL generates a result set that contains every possible combination of rows from the two tables. The number of row in the result set is product of the number of rows in each table. So suppose there is a two rows from the left table and three rows in the right table. At that time, this query output returns total six rows. So
So
we'll
our
check the
next is
example in.
cross join query. So how it works? So we have two tables called employee. Left table is employees table, which contains name and age with the two records John and Kane, and another one is a department table which contains the ID and department name, which contains also the two entries called IT and sales. So when we make the cross join query, at that time, at that time, what happened? So John records match with the two records from the department table, and Kane records match with the two records from the department table. So totally it returns the four records. So if you look at the bottom table, so it contains the John with IT department, John with sales department, Kane with IT department, and Kane with sales department. So take a look of syntax. Select table 1 dot star, table 2 dot star from table 1, cross join table 2. So here we are not mentioning any condition using the on clause. So we just mention the table name and then cross join and the another table name. So take example, select e dot star in d dot id from employees as a e, cross join departments as a d. So when we write this query at the time, it make the Cartesian product of the two tables. So our next join is cross join. So cross join basically the Cartesian product of each row from left table and each row from the right table. Suppose take example of our department table. We have the 6 rows in the department table and 18 rows in the employees table. So if we run the cross join, it total return 108 rows. So take example. So here we no need to mention the no need to specify the condition in a cross join like we specify after the on in a previous join. So we no need to write the condition here. So if we hit enter, it returns the 108 row like John row, John with all the departments like that way. For example, John with the six. This is the sixth department with the John. Then the sixth department with the Jane like that way. So for better understanding, we fetch only two records, first and second records from the employees table and run the cross join again. So it returns basically 12 records, 12 rows because we have the six department. So the John with each department and Jane with the each department. So because of that, it returns the 12 rows. So for better understanding, we will apply the filter in this case. Take a look. So
First, it return the six record 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Jane user, and next six record for the John user. So it's map with each row from the departments table. So this is the example of cross join. Also, one more thing. So MySQL does not support the full join. So for that, to achieve the full join, we need to use the union. So I will make the separate video on the union. So thank you for watching the videos. Please like, share and subscribe to the YouTube channel Software Study Launch for the latest content.